Welcome back to Final Fantasy V. Last time, Jizot fucking died, and Gallup's pretty sad about that. But now we have his submarine, so we can explore the undersea and the oversea as well. And the nice thing about this submarine is that, unlike being in the ship, you can't actually get into fights, so we are enemy-free until we reach land. Alright, so let's see, we want to be right about here. So, recognize this area? It's the Gill Cave. We finally have everything we need to actually fight a gill turtle. So, once again, gonna go over here and not just cheat to get a little bit of extra money this time. No, we're actually going to go through with a fight that I'm going to triple speed because this took about 10 minutes.
I love the pose that Galuf is doing. He's got a headache.
So anyway, that's a tortoise. But, so, we've got a few things. We have Earthen Wall, which is, from Golem. Our new friend Golem can basically just, make us impervious to a bunch of attacks. His arm will just rise from the ground to absorb physical attacks, and thankfully, physical attacks is all that the gill turtle does. So, the biggest problem with this is the fact that it's not really possible to tell when Earthen Wall stops being a thing, once he's taken enough damage, until you just take hits again, so pay attention to when stuff like that happens. So you know to re-up Earthen Wall. Next off, technically, well, I believe I mentioned this last time the old tortoise came up, but Gill Turtle is undead, meaning anything I'm doing with dancing does have a 50% chance to just kind of bite me in the butt. And also, you cannot instant kill Gill Turtle either. I don't think I've mentioned this, but if you try to use one-hit kill spells or use something like the axe that kills people on one hit, if you use any of that, it will seem to work, and then the enemy will kind of just fade back into view and you still have to fight him, so don't try using one-hit kills, that is bad. He also has the heavy status effect, which means basically just a whole lot of shit doesn't work against him. It is some enemy/boss exclusive ability that is basically just the marker for you can't really do anything to this guy.
Yeah, that approach to boss fights is why so many people think that status effects are useless in JRPGs.
Yep.
That's way more of a Final Fantasy thing than you would think.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Final Fantasy is pretty popular, so that's why it's so prominent in people's minds for other RPGs.
I played Dragon Quest VII recently, had a character poison a boss, and that boss lost like 2,000 hit points to poison in a single turn.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IV DS was also an exception to that rule. Status effects would often work against bosses, which is a thing I absolutely liked about that version of the game. Appreciated it. It's really good.
Also thinking of Super Great Friends' playthrough of the Final Fantasy Legend 2, when he petrified Medusa and one-shot that boss.
Brilliant.
And I'm pretty sure, despite how the myth goes, Medusa is actually resistant to petrification, but not immune in that game. So it shouldn't have worked, but it did.
But yeah, other than that, anything else? I mean, obviously I've already put up floats, which is crucial if you want to survive this. It looks like he did nothing as he died, but that's because everybody was hovering. So, Float is a very useful status effect that allows you to avoid ground-based attacks, and as you can see, once you start floating, until you, like, rest or something, or it's, otherwise removed, you just keep floating. Float is a status effect that actually persists, and it's helpful. Not only is it helpful for battles, however, on the field, float will actually prevent you from taking damage from, like, damaging tiles, which I don't think we've actually run into, but other than, like, the poison flowers and stuff like that, we haven't really run into that sort of thing, but it's an ability that Geomancer has to just say no to those. Float is also good against Undergrounders, of course, because they also have Earthquake. Theirs just is not as strong as a single Earthquake from Gill Turtle, though if you're fighting 4 of them, and they all use Earthquake, you will probably still die. Earthquake is no joke. Anyway, though, I did stop going along the Gill path, and that's because while I was able to kill the Gill Turtle, and it did have a pretty good drop of money and experience and whatnot, you will fight more than one if you keep going along the money path. And, again, that took me 10 minutes. I did not want to do that fight again, so that is still not a great money grinding spot, but now it's viable at least. We can use it. I just don't want to. It's really more trouble than it's worth at this point. Alright, so despite the fact that we're in a submarine and that's very cool, there aren't actually that many uses for the submarine. There really aren't that many locations for us to go that are undersea specific. We already know one of them, considering an earlier event. However, this is a different area. You can see on the map it's just sort of this weird path that kind of looks like it's leading up. If you rise up, you find this cave. And by the way, Loka, I hope you didn't let certain songs leave your head recently, because if you did, too bad, they're back. The druids are coming, and the druids are scary.
God damn it. That's gonna be such a non sequitur to so many people.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that video's decently popular, but not everybody has seen the Mandalore Gaming's video on Mystery of the Druids.
Mm-hmm. So, druids, of course, spellcasters, they have some blue magic, actually. They have Image, which, you know, isn't blue, but, they also did, Discord or whatever that's... I've already forgotten the attack name, but my level got halved, so Bart's is weaker.
The recolors later in the game use TeamSpeak.
Alright, so, you're also going to be noticing that Lena, missing a lot of her attacks. She is currently equipped with the Blood Sword. So, as good as the Blood Sword is, unfortunately it has a very low accuracy, so... currently, it's not exactly great. Obviously, of course, this is Final Fantasy V, which means there are ways around a low accuracy weapon. For example, Bart's has already earned aim, so that's one very obvious thing. If he can ever equip a sword, then he just has to equip aim as an ability, and he just cannot miss with his sword. So he just always gets a sword with Drain on it.
This is the most we're going to beat you to death enemy formation that we've seen in a while, I feel.
Ironbacks aren't that tough, but yeah, no, they look like they're booking it right towards you.
Yeah, I meant more the sprite design than the actual encounter.
We'll call that a wash. Alright, so yeah, let's just keep on healing, and then Lena probably won't do much, so... Galuf, do you want to take us home? No. So yeah, I feel like at this point I've definitely got a lot of options on each character. Doing, pretty well with those. Ooh, 4 ABP. Getting to the point where we have a whole lot of, ABP per fight.
It just occurred to me how funny the open fire command is on Summoner Ferris. My strongest summon of all, gun.
Summon cannon. Okay, so we've got a chocobo forest. Apparently you can't ride female chocobos. I guess this is just a reverse Fire Emblem Pegasus. Don't know why this is here, cause this is the only chocobo running around. We can't go anywhere. There's no secret purple chocobo. So, yeah, it's not particularly useful. Weird. Anyway. This isn't our goal, thankfully. Our real goal is a random encounter with... not these guys. Fucking rabbits.
The Cure Beasts!
Beware the deadly Cure Beast! They'll heal you. Also, I just... dude, that's a tortoise! There's a word for that!
I would fucking love it if we fought a recolor of this guy labeled the Water Tortoise.
Beautiful. Anyway, yeah, Cure Beasts can just cast Cure on their friends. So we'll murder them with branches, thank you, Gaia. They cannot heal themselves, however. And they cannot resuscitate their companions after they've been shot by cannons.
The old Darth Plagueis the Wise approach to heal.
Alright, let's see. This time we should have our random encounter with Catoblipa.
It's alright, Bart. I can make it on my own.
Wait, I remember this guy from Castlevania. A different design, though. Same name.
Yep, and of course, same origin and same ability. He'll turn you to stone, which is kind of just like dying, but it's a status effect instead. If a character is turned to stone, they can't do anything. That's it. If your entire party is hit by Petrify, it's game over. You just don't lose any HP for being turned to stone. And this isn't one of those later fangled Final Fantasy games where some enemies also have the ability to, like, shatter petrified enemies. That doesn't happen for a while, and it's good that they don't, because that's just not enemies, allies, whatever. We're enemies to them.
So do you ever get the chance to petrify anything?
You know, that's a good question. Like, I forget if we have break just yet, so maybe we could have petrified things already. Catoblipa definitely has its uses. It has distinct things it can be used for, but because of the way I'm running this where I care about mastery, I don't know if I'm going to be using Summoner at critical times, and the potential of things resisting Petrify is something I'm too wary of.
Yeah, I know in Live Alive, the way to cheese one of the bonus bosses in the ninja chapter is to petrify him. If you're doing a pacifist run, you can get access to enough coins to both unlock the secret character you need for the pacifist run, and purchase the move that petrifies enemies way earlier than you're supposed to learn it. I felt so fucking smart when I figured that out. I did the ninja chapter of the Live Live remake like 4 times.
I shot him so hard he got confused and tried to encircle himself. Anyway, there's me showing off that jump is also a way to get around low accuracy. Much like we discovered at the beginning of the game, where basically the entire party got blinded, you can just jump, and then you can heal from a jump. Provided you're not, say, dealing with an undead enemy, like the Gill Turtle, that would just hurt you if you tried to heal from them. Also, take note that while we do have the submarine and it does have a healing space, you can't just enter the submarine from anywhere. You do have to be, like, on a specific spot on the map like that in order to go outside. Otherwise, all you can do is just pilot and either surface or dive, and that's it.
But you won't encounter random encounters, so as long as you remember where all these spots are, you can't always heal before something happens.
Yep, and that's definitely a good idea. So as long as you have the map, you're good, because that'll just show all the places you can go. Shining dots. Anyway, take this whirlpool. It did nothing.
I have to complain here, all Aspic is Dark Aspic. There's no good Aspic.
Later on in the game, we just get light aspic.
Fuck off. What happened there?
It'd take forever to die. Was it Whirlpool catching up? Did he just realize, ah, shit. Dead now. Omae mo shinderu.
I was just about to say, man, I kind of want a fucking Hokuto no Ken job. Where, like, you attack and then it never displays damage numbers, it just does the damage.
Also, if you're wondering, Whirlpool, I believe, is just... It reduces an enemy's HP to a single digit. Which one? Who knows? Anyway, here's Metamorph. He's our main enemy of the dungeon, though this guy actually does have some variants, because as his name might suggest... Henshin! He can just turn into an enemy. So, this is the one I want to encounter. He can turn into an enchanted fan, and when he does, he has a new spell that I would very much like. And thankfully he used it on the exact person I wanted him to. He'll also revert after attacking. Seems like a pretty bad idea, I mean... You did just do 700 damage. Don't know why I would stop doing that, but whatever, it's fine, it's your decision. You're the one transforming.
I have unfortunate news. In Japanese, this guy's name is still Metamorph. His name is not Henshin in Japanese. Well, it's Metamorpha, you know. Limitations of the Japanese alphabet, but... The important thing is that he's not named Henshin, which is a disappointment.
Yeah. He also does have spells of his own, so every time Galuf seduces him, he can just stab himself with icicles, I guess. He also has a ton of HP. I guess he can also punch himself. God damn, Galuf. You lead him on and then you punch him for like 10,000 damage.
Oh, I'm still into this.
Alright, so we've pressed that switch, and now to continue. So yeah, this is the main gimmick of Guido's Cave, is just a weird switch puzzle involving treasure chests and taking stones from one to another. Most of those paths are dead ends, so I just showed the ones that you need to go to. It's a lot faster that way.
Oh, Galuf, I'm back!
You know, I can turn into a lot more things, right?
I can be whatever you want me to be.
Please stop shooting me with cannons, I'm not into that. Alright, hey, there we go. So that's the reason I'm showing this battle off. So, Bart's just ruined Metamorph's entire strategy, because he has a staff that allows him to inflict Berserk, and that, in effect, was absolutely him causing Berserk. Meaning all Metamorph could do was attack, he can't use his main gimmick of transforming. Alright, so, Metamorph, once again back attacking us. I'm slippery. Alright, what are you gonna turn into this time? I keep forgetting that Open Fire does have a... I'm going to turn me old! I keep forgetting Open Fire does just sometimes cause confusion in certain ones. Alright, what are you gonna turn into? Cat! Behold! My new form, Cat Sheath! Oh, laser pointer! No, not falling for that one. Alright, there we go. We blew up a cat. And we don't get experience if we defeat him in a transformed state. Only ABP. Alright, I believe this is our final encounter with Metamorph, our greatest foe yet.
God is my witness, I will fuck that old man.
He keeps coming back, him and his staff and his... small bomb? Alright, I know what the staff's for, but why do I have a cherry bomb?
I think it's supposed to be like a flask. Like he has a potion or something.
That makes sense. Maybe a mirror. Anyway, he's turning into Ifrit. Check this out!
Do you love me now, Galuf? Now that I'm buff, hey, what's that over there? No, you tricked me!
Bard's hit me with a stick! Anyway, Ifrit's actually pretty dangerous because he just does that. You know, if Metamorph had, like, any allies whatsoever, this might be a harder fight. Because that's a pretty decent amount of damage, but, like, how's he gonna capitalize on that? I guess if I didn't have a healer, maybe this would just be a trial of endurance, but there's so many ways to heal in this game, I don't know how you would be without it. Unless you're purposefully going without it, in which case, I should think you have a good strategy going into that. You probably know what you're doing. Alright, so that was Metamorph's last defeat. He tried to pull out the final stop with Ifrit, but wasn't good enough. Anyway, let's ride the oh, turtle disappeared. Alright, we reemerge over here. Alright, is Sage Guido over here? No, we've just got a turtle. Which Bartz just decides to harass immediately. What are you doing? Quit doing that!
Don't you know turtles are endangered?
But it's fun, I want to poke the turtle! Sweet Christmas, it's a talking turtle!
Also, what's Christmas?
So, this is Sage Guido. And of all characters, by the briny beard of Neptune, of all the characters to not get a portrait in this game, I feel like Guido not having a portrait is truly the greatest tragedy. I want to see what this grumpy turtle looks like. Won't cause any lasting damage, physically, anyhow.
Mental scars will never go away.
So anyway, Guido fucking hates Bartz now. He also doesn't like the whole repeating a thing you said as a question. Not fond of that trope.
I just love reacting to that trope about a forest by putting like, yes, it's a lot of trees. Anyways.
So now we're learning the origin of X-Death. So, we had a tree, right? We put all our criminal souls into that tree, and whoops, the tree gained sapience and now it hates everybody. He hates Bart so much, I love it.
It's funny to know that as early as Final Fantasy V... Jesus Christ, let it calm down, Guido.
No.
But it's interesting that as early as Final Fantasy V, characters like Guido were so commonplace that even back then, they were like, okay, it's time to make fun of this character archetype. What if the guy who told you it was happening at the midpoint of the game fucking hated you?
Yes, the Forest of Moor.
If not by land or by sea.
I was about to say, if Guido was around back in those days, he'd have a field day. You just play this game in a New Game Plus, and you get to that scene, Guido eventually just comes in and drop kicks Bartz. We're saying that too many times.
New Game Plus where Galuf is replaced by Guido, and vice versa.
It's a stick, dumbass. So yeah, if we managed to find the Forest of Moor before this point, and you could have, then you wouldn't be able to enter until you reached this point. Alright, so we finally met Sage Guido. And Bartz just had the worst possible introduction to him. Really just poisoned that relationship from the get-go. Alright, so one more time, let's heal up. And with that, we have learned that Exdeath is trying to enter the Forest of Moor, his birthplace. It's when he was a sapling, before he was evil. And then over the years grew up into a fine tree that people put crime souls into, thus making the tree extremely evil. So, whatever reason he's going back to his home can't be good, so we gotta go stop him. Which means we go to the only other point on this map that's relevant to the submarine, which is... Let's see, we gotta make our way around this path until we find... I think it's on the underside of this. Man, it takes so long to get around continents, who would have thought? Alright, so you have this passage here, which isn't necessarily marked on the map and it doesn't have a special indicator, but yeah, that's how you get to this lake. You probably have to puzzle that out yourself, but I already knew about it, so it was just kinda going there. Anyway, next time, let's go stop Exdeath from doing whatever.